Hello, and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We're here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name is John Ainsworth, and today's guest is Martina Viljevac. Martina is an account manager here at Data Driven Marketing. She's responsible for email marketing and funnel building for all of our clients, and projects that she's working on have made over $2 million in the last year alone. Today, we're going to be talking about how to increase average order value in a tripwire funnel. Now, this can work for any funnel, but we're going to focus today on the tripwire funnel as a specific example that we've just been working on and had great results with. Before we start learning from Martina, I just want to talk through about something that you can get from us. We can do a free mini audit for you. Just go to datadrivenmarketing.co. There's a button on the homepage. Click on that, fill in your numbers for your business as it currently stands, and we will figure out for you how much more money you could be making, what the top marketing tactics are that you should be working on. And if you qualify, we're also going to do a free video funnel review for you as well, video audit. So we'll detail more about that at the end of the episode. Martina, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So explain for everybody, first of all, briefly, what is a tripwire funnel?
Okay, yeah. First things first. So a tripwire funnel is a funnel that you connect to your lead magnet opt-ins, meaning you offer a newsletter sign up or a lead magnet on your homepage. After people give you their email address, they click, yes, I want to sign up for the list. They are automatically forwarded to a tripwire sales page, which says, okay, thank you for downloading our PDF worksheet, whatever they signed up for. Now you've just unlocked a special offer, and then you introduce the tripwire offer as a logical next step in their journey. So automatically all the leads that come into your list are going to be offered a tripwire offer. And then the whole funnel that we're going to be talking about is connected to the back of it.
Nice. Okay, cool. Now, what is AOV or average order value? What is that all about?
Okay, so average order value was the main focus of this project. So we wanted to maximize basically the average order value, meaning, let's say you offer a $27 product, and that's the only thing that people can buy in your funnel. So there is no way for them to buy anything else. That means that every single person that goes through the funnel is going to spend exactly $27. But once you add order bumps, once you add upsells, the welcome email sequence, they have an opportunity to spend more money, which means you are getting more money from one purchase, basically per person. The main offer results in a certain revenue, which you can then optimize and earn more money from people that come through your funnel by offering them more offers, which makes sense and are connected to the main offer.
Nice. Okay, cool. Now, we talk often on this podcast about there's three main ways that you can increase the average revenue that you get, not the average revenue, sorry, the total revenue that you get from your course business or your info product business. One of them is to increase your size of your email list. Second one is to make more sales. And the third one is to increase the average order value. This is a really, really big deal. It's actually the easiest thing to do out of the three in terms of like the speed at which you're going to get an increase in results, and just by putting something in place. Today we're talking about optimizing, which is harder than like the initial kind of gains that you get, but it's a really, really big deal, and it can generally allow you to increase revenue significantly, like 40-50%. So we're going to talk through a specific example today, but that's kind of, I just want to give you that overview of this really matters. Okay, so why is it important to work on increasing the average order value in a tripwire funnel?
So what often happens is people are running ads to a tripwire funnel, meaning you invest money to get leads and then forward them to a tripwire funnel. That way, so optimizing the average order value, earning more money from each purchase, you basically allow yourself to scale with ads, to invest more money, get more leads, and then, scale your business moving on. Now, even if you don't forward any ads, you don't have traffic running to it, average order value, basically, if you optimize it and earn more money from each person, you allow yourself to earn more money on a weekly, on a monthly basis. You also sell more courses, and people buying, we know that buyers are much more likely to buy in the future. And likewise, people spending double the money that they would have if you only had one offer are much more likely to spend more money in the future. And you also allow them to, have a personalized customer journey. You tell them, okay, this is the logical next step in your journey. So offering more stuff, customizing the journey for them, telling them, this is what's going to help you. 2 months from now, you can buy it now. This is how this is going to help you basically use the main offer in a better and optimized way. So that way you're not only thinking about the front-end revenue, which you're going to maximize here, but also about your audience, getting them to know more about you, getting them to learn more from your amazing content.
Yeah, if you look at it just from the customer serving point of view, it's like if you've got amazing courses that are really going to help change people's lives, and you write the sales page and the checkout page and everything in a clear way where people can identify, is this going to help solve a problem that they've got? You don't hype it up too much. You don't make claims that aren't true, but you do make it really clear that who this is going to help and how it's going to help them. And then people buy it, and then their life is better because they've learned how to train their dog not to pee on the floor, or not to attack other dogs, or they've learned how to get their kids to eat solid food earlier, or whatever the thing is. There's just a couple of types of courses that we've helped people with that helps that person. And then if they bought something from you and you've helped them, they're much more likely to buy from you in the future. So having an offer up front really helps them and really helps you overall. And then if you optimize this enough, then you can afford to run ads into it as well, and it'd be profitable to actually run ads, and then you can scale up your whole business.
Exactly.
So talk us through what the results were on this specific project.
So on this specific project, we were working, as we said, on a tripwire funnel, and the average order value was $32. At the end of the project, which was last week, we got to the average order value of 63.5. So it almost doubled. I would have been, if it was 64, it would be exactly double. 3.5. I want to be specific. So yeah, we doubled the average order value here. Basically, yeah, those were the end results. We ran a lot of split tests, and this is, the summary of all of the work that we've put into it.
Nice. And what that actually means with ads, if you're aiming to break even with your ads so that you make money on the back end from your email promotions, which is kind of a normal tactic to have, doubling the average order value, as long as it's, you have consistent conversion rate, still the same number of people buy, means you can more than double the amount of money you're spending on ads, because there's a whole giant group of people out there who are just that much harder to reach than you can afford to if you've got like a low average order value. So let's say you can only afford to spend $32 per person who buys from you. And now that doubles to 63. It's not just like another group like the first ones who are up to $32. It's a whole much wider audience who you can now afford to reach. So that's not the kind of focus of today's episode, but trust me on this one, it's a really, really big deal when you make these kind of increases. So how did you know what to try and which ones were the ones that were most likely to work in your split tests?
So yeah, when we first started, we analyzed all of the conversion points where people could be buying something else. So you have the main offer that they are buying. Then you could be offering them order bump or multiple order bumps on the checkout page. The next step is then the upsell. And depending on whether they buy the upsell or not, they could be offered an upsell number 2. And then if they didn't buy the upsell number 1, they could be offered a downsell number 1. Basically, we knew what can be added to the funnel. The question whether it would work is always, you never know. Something that works for 99% of the people might not work for you. So this is a process that requires a lot of testing, split testing. Don't get discouraged if the first thing you do does not produce results. That's completely normal. So you want to run a split test for at least a week. We ran it for like 2 weeks. You get the, actual tangible results, and then move on from there. So the conversion rates, as I said, were order bumps, upsells, a downsell, and an extra point here, we also optimized the welcome email sequence. So after people were to sign up for the list, we also offer them something in the backend.
Nice. Okay. So overall, what we've got is average order value is a really big deal. It's about the average amount that somebody spends when they are buying from you. It's important because it makes you money straight away. It allows your more people to actually get the great products from you, and it allows you to scale more with ads. And if you increase the average order value, you can scale significantly with ads. In terms of what to try, the crucial points were order bumps, upsell, maybe an upsell 2, a downsell. And was the downsell in the welcome email sequence, or was that in the main funnel that you were?
In the main funnel. And then there's the welcome email sequence, which also had a downsell.
Okay, so we've got order bumps, upsell, upsell 2, downsell, and welcome email sequence. So those are the 5 places that people can test. Where would you suggest anybody to start? What would be the first one that you would look at optimizing, or how would you make that decision?
So I would recommend starting at the top of the funnel. Basically, that's where the most people are. So checkout page. What can you do there in order to maximize the revenue that you get? Which the answer is order bumps, meaning the most people, let's say 500 people a week get to the checkout page. It's much more efficient to start there than to depend on, let's say, the downsell, which only 30% of those people will see. So start where most people, see the offer. You will get more relevant results that way. So we started with the order bumps on the checkout page.
Cool. Okay. So talk us through that then. So first of all, remind everybody what an order bump is, just in case people have forgotten.
So an order bump is an offer which you offer on the checkout page, which goes well with your main offer. So it's a one-click checkbox, which allows people to add one more thing to their cart. They fill this out after they filled out their credit card information. Before they check out, you basically offer them something else. It's similar to, in McDonald's, when you buy a menu, they also tell you, hey, do you want fries with that? So it's the same exact concept.
Got it. Okay. So it's a checkbox on the checkout page itself where they can buy an additional product that goes with the thing that they're currently buying. So what kind of percentage would an optimized order bump convert at?
So you can expect 30 to 60% of the people to buy the order bump. So if you only have one, somewhere in between that, basically the benchmark. Now, this highly depends on the price of the order bump, which I always tell people, you can offer a $1 product and have a 90% conversion rate. That is not the goal here. You want to optimize for the revenue. So you want to find a sweet spot between, people, the percentage of people buying it for a certain price so that the revenue impact is the highest in your funnel.
Got it.
30 to 60%. And if you were, which we did here, adding another order bump, those two behave the same. So two order bumps, the same thing is 30 between 60%. It's just much easier to get there if you have two of them.
Cool. So what's the order that people could go through here? Let's say they don't have anything in place at all. Like what do you start with?
So let's start, on the checkout page. Adding an order bump. And what we always say is having something here. So order bump, for example, having it there is better than not having it, because even if the conversion rate isn't optimized, there is still money that you are not getting beforehand. So starting with an order bump there, moving on to the upsell. So after people purchase the main offer and do or do not buy an order bump, you offer them an upsell. So an upsell here is a one-click sales page that happens immediately after people make the purchase. So you tell them, okay, thank you for buying this. This is a great decision to get to your goals. Here is something else which you can now get. And what works great is positioning this at the discounted price. So you tell them, since you're buying the main offer, now you unlock the 50% discount on this other thing. And the most important things with anything, so order bumps, which we gone through, and then the upsell, is to connect that to the main offer. So they only are here because they are interested in the main thing. So you're offering a language course. You want to position anything else that you add to the funnel as a logical next step. So it has to make sense for the main offer and be well connected. That's like the number one advice I have here.
Okay. So it sounds like the crucial thing with all of this, so we've got those 5 different stages, right? The order bump, the upsell, upsell 2, downsell, welcome sequence. The first thing is just add something as an order bump. And the second thing is add something as an upsell. And ideally you want it to be connected to what the main product is. But the crucial thing is put something in there to get started. Okay, let's go back just to the order bump and let's just talk about the optimizing of it. What would you do next? You've got an order bump and it's converting, but it's below benchmark. What would you split test first? Or what did you split test? Maybe the one that you ran.
So with the order bump, if you're not hitting the benchmarks, there's 3 things that could be wrong. Maybe the offer is completely wrong, which you would know if the take rate is extremely low. So below 10%, that might mean that the offer does not make sense for the audience. The second thing is the price. So let's say we had here a $13 tripwire product. The order bump price that we ended up with was $37. We tried 67, we tried 27, 37 ended up being the perfect price. So the price might be an issue. If it's priced too high, people might not be interested in this. We just basically, if you're offering a $27 product, $297 order bump would never work. People are not warm enough to purchase this much money, especially with the order bumps where you have like a little space where you can explain what the offer is. It's much more beneficial to use a lower priced offer. So let's say for the $13 tripwire product, we ended up with a $37 order bump. And the third thing is the order bump copy. And here we've discovered something new specifically for this audience, but that's something that might work for you as well. It's adding emojis to break up that order bump text. We always see an order bump text being just like a few sentences with nothing bolded, nothing, in different color. So what we've done here is adding checkbox emojis, arrows, gift emojis. So basically those break up the text, make it easier to read. They draw more attention, and you can also use it to name everything that's included in the order bump. So not only focus on the benefits of the product, but also tell them, hey, you are getting this many worksheets, you are getting this many video lessons and all of that. So copy, price, and the product are the three things that could be split tested here, especially if you don't hit the benchmarks on the first try. If you do, then it's moving on to the split test as well. So let's say you get a 30% take rate on the order bump, which was from the main product, which was 27, you have an order bump 37 and the 30% take rate. Here, you can now split test the price. So have a higher price here. Now, with the price, it's tricky because perceived value is very important here. So not just because you increase the price does not mean that the conversions would drop, simply because people perceive the offer as more valuable when you increase the price. But again, that's something that should be split tested. Maybe a $27 offer, which very rarely happens. So if you have a 30% take rate here, a lower priced offer wouldn't normally optimize the revenue, but that's also something you could split test. So you basically at the end want to end up with the most money earning from order bumps. So you have, which is important here, KPI tracking. You do this regularly. You know how much money you made with the first thing that you tested. Now that you make a split test, you want to, let's say, change the price now and track those numbers as well. So if you get an extremely low conversion rate, I'd say the offer is the problem. Try something else. If you, let's say you don't have anything else, you only have this product, then you can move on to the price, see if that works, and then move on to the copy. Ideally, the copy would be the last thing, unless, with the copy, just try something simple. Focus on the benefits, focus on the fact that this is a discounted offer. And then once you get the price and the product right, it's just, those details that you can add to the text to make the offer seem perfect.
And with the copy, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because you have so little space for the copy. There's so little that you can actually write. You've probably got like, I don't know, 4 or 5 sentences, something like that, maximum for the order bump copy. It's a really interesting, a lot of people find it surprising how many people will buy when there's so little explaining about the product. But if it's the right product at the right price, then it works really well just because the fact it's on the checkout page at the point of decision. Okay, exactly. So we've talked through about order bumps. So we want to try and get that to 30 to 60%. Would you tell everybody to add 2 order bumps, or is that like be careful with split testing that, or how would you look at that one?
So if you don't have any, start with 1, get that to be perfect. That's a very important conversion rate here. Then move on to the second one. Once we added the second one, the conversion rates here doubled. So basically, a lot of people, you can always assume some people are going to buy everything that you offer them. And a lot of people were buying both order bumps. So this is not either or, you can buy both. And this, had amazing results. That was one of the first things that we tried, and we're very happily surprised with, increasing the take rate on the order bumps just by adding an option to do the second one. And then we optimize the second one fully the same way we would have the first one. Now, an important thing here is now you have 2 things that you are worried about. If you add a second order bump, which isn't a good fit, that might impact the conversion rate of the first order bump, as well as anything else that happens afterwards in the funnel. So here, what could go wrong, you having a second order bump, which is not a good fit, and that also impacting the first one. So be careful with that. That's something, you're not only looking at the numbers for the second one. Now this is one step of the process, and anything that happens here can impact the other steps.
Gotcha. All right, let's move on to upsell number 1 then. So what is an upsell? How does that work? Let's start with that.
Okay, so an upsell, which a lot of people have different definitions of what this is. In the tripwire funnel, an upsell is a one-click sales page and one-click upsell sales page that happens after people buy the main offer or an order bump. So you go through the checkout process. Before you get access to your course, before you get to the thank you page, you are offered something else. So you position this as, thank you for buying the main offer. This is the second step of your journey. Here is something else that you can buy, which goes well with your main offer. And then you tell them how that goes well. So with the upsell page, Now I'm thinking, if you don't have an upsell page, you know what you could do as a product here, but don't want to spend like 2 months building the page. Start simple. So a fully optimized upsell page works the same way as a fully optimized sales page. So you have an optimized above the fold, benefits, bonuses, testimonials, all of that good stuff. So the 15 elements that we teach in our course. So an upsell page can go from being super long to being simple. If you are like, okay, I'm not going to add an upsell page until I have it perfect, that doesn't make sense. If you had a white background with one button, there would be people buying it. So start simple, start with an optimized above the fold, tell people how this offer makes sense for them, have a clear call to action button, mention the benefits of the product, and then move on from there. So that's, the upsell step of the process.
Got it. All right, cool. So go and search through, if you want to know more about the 15 crucial elements of a high-performing sales page, you can go back into the podcast feed or on YouTube and search through our channel. And I will have covered that somewhere else with Monica. I'm like 99% certain we've already gone through that. And so you can go and see what those elements are. Okay, so you want to have effectively, it's using one-click upsell systems within your checkout software, whether it's ClickFunnels or Thrivecart or whatever you're using. And so people can just click one button and it adds it to their order. You want to follow the 15 elements of a high-performing sales page. What happens when you want to start optimizing? What are the things that you can optimize? You can split test in order to try and optimize this.
So with the upsell, you expect 15 to 20% of the people to buy. Now, again, the same thing is you can get a 90% conversion rate if you have a super lower priced offer. So that's, again, we are optimizing for revenue. So between 15 and 20 is great. So once you have an upsell, run it for 2 weeks, see how it converts, and then make decision on what to optimize. Now, the things that could be optimized are similar to the order bump. So you want to optimize the offer. If the benchmark is you're not hitting the benchmark even close, it's, let's say, less than 7%, I would consider that the upsell offer does not make sense for the main offer, or it's not positioned very well. So that's one thing. The other thing is the price. So once you know, okay, this offer works, people are buying it, you can optimize the price. So start higher, see how that impacts the revenue. Again, just because the price is higher and less people are buying it, that does not mean that you end up with less money in the end, because less people buying a more expensive offer can and usually results in more revenue than a large number of people buying a super cheap offer. And so, yeah, we have the offer, we have the price, and then it's the matter of details, as with the order bumps and the copy there. So the upsell page copy, so all the 15 elements going into details there. First, you want to prove that the offer makes sense and the price makes sense, and then you go in and, polish all the details on the page.
Yeah, so that could mean adding more testimonials or adding better testimonials, or taking a video testimonial that you've got and pulling out some elements to make that written up as well for the people who don't watch the video, or like there's lots of details to that. And like that's one of the things that we help a lot of people with in our instant course sales program. This is basically where we work with our clients to help them to increase their revenue from their course businesses. And our copywriter is Monica often goes through and gives people feedback on their sales page on how they can improve it and how they could get dramatic improvements there. Okay, so that's the upsell. Now, talk to me about upsell 2. When should you have an upsell 2? Should everybody always add second upsell in, or is it only sometimes?
So ideally, you'd have the order bumps optimized and upsell number 1 optimized. And then it's a matter of, okay, let's polish up this funnel. So people buying the order bump, buying the upsell, could be offered something higher priced after they buy both of these things. And there's always going to be people that would buy everything that you offer them. So with upsell number 2, the approach is super similar to upsell number 1. But you have to have both of those, order bumps and upsell set up previously. Then it's like the polishing time. So upsell number 2, in this funnel, so with the $13 main offer, we optimized the $297 upsell number 2, which is so much higher than we thought it would be. It's just that the offer made so much sense. It was lifetime access to a software, which made their life so much easier, which basically a lot of people wanted. So anyone that could have afforded it did buy it. It's only available on that upsell page. So they knew, okay, if I want lifetime for this incredible discount, here's where I buy it. So the higher price upsell number 2 worked here. it depends on, which offers you currently have. The approach is, again, super similar to upsell number one. Now you're only thinking, okay, whatever I offer them after upsell number one has to also make sense with that upsell number one, because people that see the upsell number two are only people who have already bought upsell number one. You want to have this as a clear and optimized journey. So people going through the process, let's say you're teaching a language, there's people, okay, I'm running for a promotion in 3 months. I have to, upscale my English. I have to be perfect in it. I'm going to buy everything that you offer me. I love your content. I've seen you on social media. Tell me what else I have to do in order to get to my goals. So yeah, with upsell number two, the same thing applies. You have the product, you have to test which one it works. Conversion rates are the same as for upsell number one, so 15 to 20%. In our case, we got to 28.5, which is amazing. So that product was a big, big success here. And it only worked with that price. So we tried lowering the price, making the price higher. It just $297 was the sweet spot. So again, you have the offer, then you split as the price. Okay, again, would it work for a lower price? Would it work for a higher price? What we often see is that people willing to spend, in this case, $297 are the same exact people that would have spent $197. The conversions don't really change that much, since this is so much more expensive than the main offer. 197 to 97 didn't produce any difference, so we kept it at 297 again to optimize for the revenue. So upsell number two and downsell, the approach here is similar to upsell number one. Once you have all of that ready, just keep in mind with the downsell, it's a bit trickier to optimize for the 15 to 20% conversion rate, since people have already said no to the upsell that you offer them. So they got into the habit of, okay, I already said no to one thing. It's very likely they could say note for the other thing, especially if you run ads to the cold traffic. They don't know the brand. They're just here, to spend a little bit of money, see how you do, see, what you offer. So the downsell is the trickiest, because you get all of the skeptics here. So people that are like, okay, I'm not sure if this is going to work. It's, the hardest part, since, all of the people that are like, I'm not sure if I trust you are on this step. So don't be, too hard on yourself if those don't convert as well as upsells, because again, it's a completely different part of the audience.
Okay, cool. So we've got order bump 30 to 60%, upsell one, 15 to 20, upsell two, 15 to 20. And normally you would have the upsell two be like a similar kind of price to upsell one, but here you've managed to do it with something that's like 3 times as expensive, which is amazing, right? So that must have made an enormous difference to the average order value.
Yeah, it makes so much difference. And that's why split testing is important. If you were to, follow the rules, always stay where you got great results and not try anything else, you never know, what else could be done, what else could be perfect for your exact audience.
So the next step, and you've alluded to it already, was the downsell. Okay, so what is a downsell?
So a downsell is a step, let's start from the beginning. So people buy the main offer, they may or may not get the order bump. They are then offered an upsell number one. Even if this is, fully optimized, you get 20% of people buying it, but you still have those 80% that said no to this, which means probably the price is too high for them. Not only does the offer have to make sense, but also some people are just not going to spend money, especially in a tripwire funnel where they are, super cold, haven't even gone through the main offer. It's still super fresh. So they say no to upsell number one, and then they are offered something lower priced. This can be very close to the main offer, because okay, the main offer was $27 or $13. These people are willing to spend this much money on you. So having the price of the downsell similar to the main offer is a good place to try. So you have a downsell product, which again, always has to make sense and be connected to the main offer. You position it as a logical next step for their journey, but keeping in mind that they already said no to one offer. So now you want to be more gentle. You want to, focus more on the benefits, focus more on how this is going to get them quick results, and having more testimonials and social proof on this page also works great. So getting people to trust you on this step, since you have a few seconds, them scrolling through the downsell page, be very, gentle here. Keep in mind that those are the people that might or might not buy here, but the price is then lower than the upsell number one and pretty similar. I would start with the same price as the main offer, then go a bit higher and see how that impacts the revenue. If needed, go lower, but usually around the price of the main offer is the sweet spot.
Okay, so we're looking here at something that's lower priced, that's more similar to the original thing that they bought. And then again, it sounds like you're working through the same process. So you might need to test the different products, test different prices, then split test the pages, like how can you make sure that it includes all 15 crucial elements, that they're all optimized, that it's a well-written sales page, get a copywriter to work on it. Okay. So I would say one of the crucial things as you're listening to this is this isn't necessary on every funnel that you ever work on. The reason this is worth doing, all of these different steps, not just putting all of them into place, order bump, upsell 1 and upsell 2, downsell, and there's another step we're going to get to in a minute, but then also optimizing them. The reason all of that is worthwhile is because this client was running ads into the funnel. And therefore, every optimization that we made meant they could scale their business further. So it's a really big deal. But if you're just running a regular email promotion, I would say definitely do order bump and upsell. I don't know if I would always bother with all of the other steps. What would you say, Martina? Would you always do upsell 2? Would you always have a downsell? Like, what do you think?
So the thing is, with different offers for email promotions, it's better to have, a wide variety of things that you're offering, and let's say 5 optimized funnels in a way that you have an order bump and upsell, than to spend 3 months working on one perfect funnel while all the other offers are waiting for your time, because you don't have all the time in the world. So I'd work on having all of the basic setup. An order bump and an upsell is a must in every funnel that you send any kind of traffic to, even through email promotions. Have all the offers that you are currently offering, have those things. And then once you start rerunning the promotions to the current offer, so the funnels are staying as they are, you're not, in a position to maybe create new offers, you are, redoing the email promotions, then it's a place to, let's say, start with the most popular product for the email promotions and start optimizing that, adding an upsell number 2 and a downsell. Especially, so the quickest thing here, you have an order bump and an upsell, add a second order bump. That's like the first place to start. See how that converts. I would go, honestly, so horizontally. So each funnel that you have, add an upsell, an order bump number 2 for each of them. See how that converts. You get some conclusions, then start from the beginning, add an upsell number 2 from all of that. That's a super long process. So ideally, you'd have multiple funnels for your audience, for all of your offers. All of them have an order bump, have an upsell. Then once you don't have any other offers being created, start spending time, optimizing the most popular ones. But don't, the trickiest thing is to, spend so much time working on one specific thing when there's so much other things that you could be doing. So if you have a few, let's say you're running email promotions, have 4 offers, all of them have order bumps and upsells, I'd say start adding an order bump number 1 and number 2. So the second order bump to one of those, and then optimize that. And then, you're going to learn so much from that. So you apply the same process to the second funnel and then go from there. So don't, spend too much time on one specific funnel.
Yeah, it's always, as we say this a lot, it's always really important to implement stuff before you optimize it. So you go through, and just the difference between having an order bump and having no order bump is bigger generally than the difference between having an order bump and having an optimized order bump. So just have something in place is like a really, really good starting point. Okay, I took us slightly off on a tangent, but I just wanted to clarify for you as you're listening to this, the way to think about it, which of these things you should implement and which ones you shouldn't, because I don't want to send you off down a rabbit hole doing lots of work that isn't appropriate yet. Okay. So the last one we want to talk through is this automated welcome sequence. So tell us, how does this work? How does it fit in? And what's the purpose of it?
So an automated welcome email sequence is offered to everyone that gets on your list. So everyone opts in, they're all offered the tripwire. Some people might exit out of the page immediately, and then all that they're left with is the welcome email sequence. The point of the welcome email sequence is to introduce yourself to your audience, tell them what you do, tell them, show them proof of what you've done, testimonials, how you are different than your competition. So basically you position yourself as an expert in this field. You get them to warm up to you, so they feel like they've known you. They've gone through like 5 emails of introduction. And then at the end of that sequence, we have added 3 promotion emails. Those are the going, gone emails. Basically, those emails promoted the exact offer that was a tripwire offer for people that haven't bought it when they first seen it. So you filter it out so that people that have already bought it, they don't have to see it. But those that haven't are now much more warmed up. They spent like a week reading about you, about what you do, they've seen what your results are. Now offering them something is a good place. So let's say 5 welcome emails and then 3 promo emails at the end, which again aren't super salesy, aren't heavy on, go and buy my stuff. It's connecting that to what you've already told them. You tell them, here are 5 free tips that I'm going to teach you in this course. If you want to know more, go and check out this course. Again, the discount here was the same as for the tripwire offer. So you don't want to change the price. That's something that, basically you want to have the same consistent offer on the tripwire funnel and then in the promo sequence, which comes afterwards. And we have managed to get 2.5% of the people that go through the welcome email sequence to actually buy at the end of it. So the benchmark in the industry is 1.5 up to 3%. So here it's 2.5 with only 3 promo emails at the end of it.
Nice. Okay. So what we've got overall is have a tripwire funnel in place behind your lead magnet, have an initial offer that's quite cheap, $13, $27, something in that kind of ballpark. Normally depends on your market. If you're in the finance space, it might be more expensive. If you're in B2B, it might be more expensive. But just as a general rule, a lot of our clients, that's what we see. If you're going to optimize that funnel, the way to decide whether to optimize the funnel is it something that you're going to have a lot of traffic going through? Do you want to be able to scale it with ads? If so, then you add in the order bump number 2, upsell 1, upsell 2, downsell, and an automated welcome sequence afterwards that warms them up and then offers the initial product again to the people who didn't buy at the very beginning. Okay. That sounds like a lot of work. So, so we've talked about like when this makes sense for people, but just give people an idea of how much work this was. How long did this take to set all of this up?
So for us, it took 3 months to work on this project to get where we are currently. And I'm pretty happy with the results here. So we doubled the average order value. That means basically if the client was making a certain amount of money on a monthly basis, now they're making double that, being able to invest in ads. So when it comes to how long this will take, it's heavily impacted on how the things that you make, you change, basically have impact on the funnel. Meaning, if you are unlucky and everything that you try on the first try does not work, you would always have to, do double the time and try then optimize it. So 3 months is something that I would consider a pretty good time frame. The thing with this is split testing is very tricky. What I want to emphasize here is you don't want to split test multiple things at the same time. So for example, you add a second order bump, it converts at 15%. You want to make it better. You change both the price and the offer. There is no way you would know which of those changes made an impact. Even if you got incredible results, maybe changing only one of those would have, had better results. So you want to change only one thing at a time. That's why this is very time consuming. You want to run things for at least a week, ideally 2 weeks, get, actual tangible KPIs, get the data, and then start with the next thing. So that's why this takes a longer time. But once you have everything set up in those 2 weeks where you're running it, you can work on the next step and then have that ready once you're ready to implement it. So 3 months is a good thing here. For only the order bumps, which is like the logical first step, I'd say a month would be, that's what I would expect to, get the perfect optimized. Even with 2 order bumps, that would be more than
as long as you've got enough traffic going through to run the split test accurately. Because it's one of the things that you have to watch out for with split tests is like day one, you see that one of them's doing way better than the other, and you go, oh, this is really cool. It's like day one doesn't mean anything. It's like you could have both halves of the split test be exactly the same, and you'd probably see one half do better than, like you, instead of an A/B test, you can have an AA test. And probably one of them would look like it was doing better. So it's like, just wait, let the data, filter out like what's true and what's just like random fluctuations. Okay. But overall, if you've got enough traffic and you've got enough time to run the split test and put everything together, a few months on this. And like I said before, this doubling that front end revenue doesn't just allow you to double the amount of money you're making from that funnel. It allows you to scale the ads way further. It's a really, really big deal. It's hard to even kind of get your head around fully how much of a difference that makes. But on a front end funnel like this, it is 100% worthwhile. Okay, cool. So final recap, what we've got overall is have a tripwire funnel, or any kind of funnel, always put in order bump and upsell. If it's a funnel that's worth optimizing it, either because you've run the promotion before or because it's a tripwire funnel where you're going to have it as a front end, maybe run ads to it, and you really need to make that difference, add in a second order bump, add in a second upsell, add a downsell, add a welcome email sequence that promotes the offer again to the people who didn't buy, and then go back through and optimize by split testing different products, different prices, and different copy on each of them. When you're doing the sales pages, make sure to go through and have all 15 crucial elements of a high-performing sales page. Go and find the episode with Monica where we cover what that was, and then just continue optimizing from there. And what you're going to see is over time, you're going to have a massive increase in the average order value. It's going to allow you to scale further. Okay. That was awesome. Thank you very much, Martina. That was absolutely fantastic. The last thing I want you to do is just talk everybody through. I mentioned at the beginning, we've got the profit increase report. People can get a free audit of their funnel where we're going to tell them what is the places in there for how much more money they could make, where the places in the funnel that they could make those optimizations, what changes could they make, and then give them some more details about that. Now, some people who go through that, we also do a free video funnel review, and you do some of these and Lada does some of these. Could you talk everybody through what is included in that? What do they get covered?
So yeah, for the funnel video review, what we do, you give us your homepage link, we go through it. We basically give you advice from, our perspective, what can strategically be optimized. So tips and tricks on how to improve your conversions, starting from the homepage. Then we go through your courses page, the sales page, and the checkout page. Find things that aren't 100% optimized, give you advice on how to improve the copy, what else is missing. We start with that. So adding stuff on, optimizing stuff that's currently there. We also do, a check here and there to make sure everything runs smoothly. We check your checkout pages. Basically, anyone that, goes through our funnel, fills out the profit increase report, you basically want to know more about how the things that you are currently doing can be done better. So you know what the benchmarks are. You're like, okay, my checkout page isn't converting as high as I'm expecting to. Send it to us. Me and Lada are going to go through the page, give you advice on, you're missing this here. This isn't optimized for mobile. Just from our point of view, because you're looking at the page for hours and hours, it's hard to see some things missing. And we have a pretty developed system on, things that should be there and how they should be done. So we're going to give you advice on everything that you're going to be implementing. And these are like pretty thorough 20 to 40-minute videos. So don't expect us to be very, general. This is actual tangible advice, which you can then go and implement right away.
Yeah, they're fantastically useful. And when we charge for them, we're charging $1,000 per video. But if you go through, we're doing about 5 of these for free per month at the moment. We might do more if we can later. You can go to pimpyourfunnel.com. You can go to our homepage, or you can go to pimpyourfunnel.com, and it's going to take you to the form. Fill that out with all of your numbers and your website address and your email. And we'll go through, do the review for probably five people listening now, and then send that back to you, and you'll know exactly what to do to make an improvement in your funnel. Thanks so much, Martina. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you to everybody for listening. Really appreciate you tuning in and listening and getting geeky with us about funnels and how much better they can be. And if you found the interview useful and you want to get future episodes, please subscribe wherever you listened. Talk to you guys later.